GT Divide Podcast coming to another episode. How you guys doing today? We rocking out over here up in the great Wichita, Kansas. It's hot as heck outside, like 97. I feel bad for anybody that works out in that. Hope you guys keep it rocking out there. Today I'm gonna talk a little bit about talks about we're gonna talk a little bit about divorce and divorce rates and the reason why divorce rates are high. What's going on inside relationships? We're gonna talk about a few things we do to fix some of these issues. I'm gonna let these people talk real quick because I like to let people talk before I talk. But they're going to talk about the high divorce rate, and then this guy's going to give his sentiments on it real quick.
Divorces are being initiated by women. A new study of more than 2,200 couples found women were the ones who initiate the divorce 69% of the time. That's compared to just 31% of divorces initiated by men. And joining us this morning to talk more about it is therapist and relationship coach Rick Brown. Always great to see you. Thanks for coming in this morning. Yeah. Did this surprise you at all?
Not really. One of the reasons it's happened is because women actually can. In your parents' generation, my parents' generation, women were often home and the husband provided the income. But now with two people working, it's women can actually financially say, if I'm not happy in this relationship.
And that's a good point that obviously society's changed where it used to be you can have a one income household and be able to survive, be able to thrive. But nowadays women are able to work. And so now women can take care of themselves, and so that's giving them giving them more power to be able to say, okay, I'm not happy here. I don't need them. So he kind of makes it seem like women were trapped inside of marriages back in the day. When I don't think that that's the case. I kind of disagree a little bit on that one. I don't think that women were trapped inside of marriages back in the day. I think it was more so the fact that back then marriage and everything was more of a community thing. Like it was huge. Big to get married, settle down, have a house, have kids. Like that was the dream. I think that the dream has changed over the decades, over the years, and the dream is different now. And I think that that's part of the reason why you get into the issues with having a higher divorce rate is because the mindset has changed. Like it used to be work on your relationship, and now it's find a new partner. Like that's changed. And so with the abundance of social media, and I think social media is huge in this, you got people on cell phones that have access to so many more resources out here, so many more people, so many more individuals. You got Facebook, you got all these apps you got dating sites that it didn't used to be. It used to be like you would find a girl in your small town, and then that's the girl that you would marry. Whereas nowadays, you could find a dude or a chick in Florida, and you might live in California, and then you guys figure out a way to be able to get the relationship going, and then you can marry her. So the abundance of options definitely has changed the mindset of people. And so now it's changed from let's fix it to I just want to go find somebody else and replace you, essentially, is what it's come down to.
I can get out. I can depend on myself. So it's a little bit easier.
What do you think is behind this trend, other than the just the changing of the times?
Right.
I mean, do you think that women are becoming maybe a little less tolerant of a poor relationship?
Well, and by the way, most people who are thinking about, women included, thinking about divorce, they really don't want divorce. What they want is an end to the pain. And that pain often for women is a sense of feeling lonely or emotionally disconnected in the relationship. And there is a desire and a feeling like, I want it all. I want to feel more connected with my partner.
He said, I want it all. I want to feel more connected with my partner. So let's talk about that. Let's break that down real quick. So he's saying that women want to feel more connected with their partner, right? And so they're looking for an end to the pain. Like relationship is painful for women, right? It's crazy because most of the time in most of these situations and instances, a guy will stick around for the utmost disrespect, and you can talk down to him. He'll stick around longer than a woman. So the pain that he's talking about, so society has given this mindset, put this into the female brain that your happiness is the most important thing, right? And so if you walk around every day and you're being told that your happiness is the most important thing, and you become unhappy, then you're going to be like, well, I need to go find happiness because they told me happiness is the most important thing. And so you do that, and then you take away the accountability as well. So men are held accountable, according to this guy, for a woman's happiness, but she's not held accountable for her own happiness. And that's part of the problem. We can't make you happy. As men, that's not our job. Our job is not to make you happy. If you think that that's what a relationship is about, then you need to go back and go to elementary school level relationship one-on-one. That's not what it's about. A relationship is about two people building together, right? They're building their own kingdom together. So if it's the Thompson kingdom, and you got husband and wife, they're building together. They have kids, right? They decide, okay, I got these goals. These are things that I want to accomplish. All right, I want to accomplish buying a house. So how do we get there together? And so that's what it's about. It's about growing together, but you have to grow individually. You have to hold yourself individually accountable in order for growth to happen. It can't be all about your happiness or all about your own personal emotions. It can't be about that, because if it's all about the person, the individual, then you lose the community of having a partner, having a helpmate. And so I think that that's part of the problem, is that we've gotten so beside ourselves that we've gotten to a point where it's all about me, 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 because we've got a me, me, me culture. Culture has changed over the years and has become me, me, me. And then we've even gone away from the traditional marriage itself. And so now marriage doesn't even have the same type of esteem that it used to have. Like back in the day, man, jumping the broom. I mean, slaves would jump the broom because that was the only way that they can symbolize being able to be wed, husband and wife, because they didn't have the same type of things that you get from Caucasian people, because Caucasian people got to go do their whole ceremony, but black people, that's what they do. They just jump the broom, and so it was a sacred thing. Marriage was so sacred, and it's become less sacred nowadays because individuals are kind of more about themselves than they are about the team. Um, and so I think that there's two parts. There's two things. I'm going to go real quick. I'm trying not to let this run too long. So there's two things that I look at as far as marriage goes. Number one, husbands have to love their wives like Christ loved the church, obviously. So giving their all. If it's you go out and you got to work 60 hours a week to make sure that your wife and kids got everything they need, that's what you do. That's what men do, right? Protect, provide, love, care. You have to make sure that you're tender-hearted toward them. Understand that they have more emotions, so sometimes you got to be able to allow their emotions to go out. Like if they're anger, sometimes you got to just sit there and let them put the anger out there and not take it personal, right? Then because that's you allowing them to unleash some of the things that are built up inside their heart that are keeping them held back. As men, right? As men, that's what we have to do. So as women, I think the number one thing that it's not talked about, and churches don't even talk about this oftentimes, and it's crazy to me. Like you'll go to a pastor and he'll give you a book on all these love languages, but he'll never speak about what it says in Ephesians. It talks about honoring your husband. So you honor the position, right? The position that you have given. So you is for lack of a better term, it's like job interview. So you're going through job interview and you've gone through all the applications and you said, this is my general manager right here, right? When you put that person in place, you respect that position that you have given them. And so you honor that position and you allow them to do what a general manager is supposed to do, right? That's your honor, is allowing a husband to do what a husband is supposed to do. Now, if you aren't going to allow him to do what he's supposed to do, then there's two things that could be that can happen here. One of them could be that maybe your expectation is not what you deserve. I'm gonna play that back again. Maybe your expectation is not what you deserve. So you may think that you deserve the highest level, but you're not willing to have yourself held to those same standards, right? So you're down here, but you want the higher level. That may be one of them. Number two, it could just be that when you met the person, you had a specific plan or goals in mind of what you want that person to be. So you didn't allow that person to be who they are in the moment, right? And then you love that person who they are in the moment. Because if you love who that person is in the moment, then when they grow, your love grows with them, right? But if you don't love that person in the moment, you're loving what you think they could be or what you want them to be, then your love can fade, right? You can lose respect, you can lose honor, and then it makes it harder for you to be able to be in a relationship with that individual person, because now you have set a precedent of, I need you to be like this, right, in order for me to respect you. And in your mind, if you're doing that, right, you're not honoring the position, right? And so even as Christians don't even do this. I mean, you got Christian men that don't love their wives like Christ loved the church. And you got Christian women that don't honor the position, because God created those positions, right? God created husband and wife. And so when he created husband and wife, what we have to understand is that when he created it, he told you what the position is. He gave you the playbook for the position. And so if you're a wife and you're only focused on what your husband's supposed to be doing, then you can't focus on what you're supposed to be doing. If you're a husband and you're only focused on what your wife's supposed to be doing, then how are you going to be a good husband? You got to focus on open up your playbook, learn your plays for your position, so that way you can get better, as opposed to hoping or pushing the other person to be better or putting expectations upon the other person. Because a lot of times what happens is you get one person putting expectations upon the other person, and then they don't meet those expectations. Now that person ain't enough now. And so now I'm unhappy because this person didn't meet my expectations when I didn't meet the type of person that deserves the person that to meet my expectations. You see where I'm going with that? So if you can't put yourself on a high level and have yourself up here, then you can't expect your spouse to be up here, right? Your spouse is going to be on whatever level that you're on. So if you think that you deserve something higher than what you're getting, then you need to level yourself up there so that way you can deserve that and not just ask for it. Just think that that it's just supposed to be given to you because of your position, right? That's where people go wrong. They think because of my position, it's just supposed to be given to me, and I don't have to do anything to get it. I'm just going to stay here on the low level. I'm going to be an average person, but I want an excellent person. No, you need to be an excellent person to deserve an excellent person. And guess what? As you guys are excelling in excellence, you guys go up to the next level together. And so I think that's the part of the problem with the divorces and the divorce rate being what it is that we've gotten beside ourselves and there's starting to be me focused on what I want. And then you got people walking around out here that have expectations of somebody that they can't even meet the expectation that they have for somebody else. You can't have higher expectations for everybody else and low expectation for yourself. That's not how this thing works. And so you have to understand that in a relationship. So granted, women divorce more at a higher rate. I think it's always been that. So when he said pain, I disagree with the pain stuff. I think men go through a whole lot more pain in the relationship than women do because we're expected to do more and we're held more accountable to a lot more things, right? So when you're held accountable and an expectation is high of you, which society has painted this picture that men have to be this high expectation. So now it's harder on us. Now it's more pressure on us because now we got to go out here and we got to perform, right? You got to be 6'5", thin build or muscular build with a nice beard. You got to have a nice job. You got to have a nice car. You got to have a nice house. Like you got to, as a man, that's what women are looking for now because society told them to look for that, right? And so what you have is a bunch of men out here that would be good husbands, but they don't have all those things. And so they get looked over, and then all the women want to go mess with the 20%, and then they mad because everybody wants to, like, if you like that dude, somebody else likes that dude for the same reason that you do too. And you have to understand that. Like, we can't sit around here and jog around the point and act like it's not true and act like it's not valid because it 100% is valid. That the expectations on men has changed over time and has gone up. But the expectations of women really haven't. They've kind of stayed stagnant, right? Women are still expected to do and be the same. And so when you get in a relationship with a man and your expectation up here, but you down here, that's not going to work, right? This guy deserves, like, if this is what he is or this is what you want him to be, then you have to be up here too. You need to be growing yourself to that level because you can't expect somebody to be at a level that you're not willing to go to yourself. And so that's all I got on this divorce piece real quick. I just want to hop on here real quick and give you guys some insight. Whenever you see the Nike Polo on the left side, that means I'm finna come with some heat. So it's GT the Vibe podcast again. Check you guys later. I'm out.